Hello, and welcome to Spokane County Spotlight. I'm Commissioner Josh Kerns, and my guest today is Sather Gowder, founder of the local nonprofit Heal Spokane. Sather, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, before we jump into the topic of today, Heal Spokane, could you give our audience a little bit of background about yourself? Where are you from? Where'd you go to school? What do you do other than Heal Spokane?
Well, I'm from Spokane. Grew up on the north side, so I went to Meade High School. Went to Whitworth for my undergrad. And what do I do in my free time? Wow, mostly I'm a law student, so mostly studying and helping out the community.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. What made you want to pursue a degree in law?
I was that weird 7-year-old kid who I just wanted to be a lawyer from day one. I would play cops and robbers with my friends, and I'd be like, he needs a defense, let me be the lawyer. So I've always wanted to take part in that system, and I think the justice system is so important and can help so many people, and so I've always felt really driven to be a part of that.
All right, is there a specific area of law you're hoping to focus on?
Criminal law, criminal defense, specialty, litigation.
Okay. What's the reasoning for that?
I think the power of oratory and talking and using the same facts that everybody has to speak to a jury and sway them that your side is accurate, that your side represents justice.
Okay.
That's just so appealing to me.
All right. So of all the law schools in the country, you chose Gonzaga.
I did.
Why Gonzaga Law?
Gonzaga, their mission, they're a Jesuit institution, so they care about public service, they care about access to justice, and those are things that have always spoke to me. And so there was really I didn't apply to any other school. That was the place I wanted to go.
Okay, all right. And it's great you get to stay local.
I love it.
From Spokane,
this is my city.
Staying in Spokane. That's right. So let's get down to the topic at hand, and that's Heal Spokane. So what exactly is Heal Spokane?
Well, Heal Spokane is an official 501c3 nonprofit organization that I started last year, actually a year and a day ago. We just had our first year anniversary.
Fantastic, congratulations.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. And it's based on service. So it's about serving the community, serving vulnerable populations, the indigent, and just getting people out there and empowering them to serve others.
Okay, so that's sort of the general overview of what Heal Spokane is. But so what was it that started Heal Spokane? What was the genesis of that organization?
So last October, I had a really tough month. Just a number of things went wrong in my life, and it left me feeling pretty bad, in a dark place, and I don't know about you when you're upset, but I'm a pacer. So I was outside pacing in front of my house one day, just kind of wallowing in this self-pity and anger, and a neighbor asked me to help her with bringing in some groceries.
Okay.
And I didn't want to, but you gotta help people out. So I went over there, and for that 45 minutes I was carrying groceries in for her, it changed my life. I found that service and serving others provided a sense of healing for me. And I just wanted to continue doing that. So I dedicated to doing an active service every day for someone in my community. And from that, we've grown into an official nonprofit.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
You talk about that one instance where I assume you feel you made that person's day better by helping her carry in the grocery. I mean that small act of kindness. But what are some of the other work that Heal Spokane does?
So initially it was a lot of, I believe in getting your hands dirty, right?
Okay.
So I'm out there, I was fixing fences for neighbors. I didn't know how to fix fences, but YouTube can always help with that.
That's right.
Doing yard work we have some veterans that live on my street that are disabled, so doing yard work for them. We've gotten to donating canned food, and my favorite part is I do speaking events now. So I've gone to 32 different speaking events, mostly at public schools around Spokane, just talking to kids and educating them about how important it is to give back, to help others, and the power that's transformed my life, and how that can be the same for them.
Okay, so when you've spoken to that many schools, I assume that's got to be all grade levels.
Everything from elementary schools all the way up to some of the universities around here.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been fun.
Any commonality or any theme that you get from those folks? I mean, do you see in those younger grades all the way up to college? I mean, is there that desire for community service, that desire to help folks?
I think so.
Are you seeing that?
I think generally people want to help, and I think sometimes people don't know how to help. And so one of the things I like to do is try to provide ways or inspiration for people to get out there and be a part of serving the community. And I love it in the kids especially. They're so excited to help their neighbors. And I get wonderful messages from parents, from teachers saying, hey, my kid has been helping my neighbor with this every day, and the smile on their face. And just, that's why I do it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I will say, I mean, I've seen on your Heal Spokane Facebook page, it looks like you've been in front of some big groups.
Yeah, I love it. I'm an only child, so the attention is always fun, right? But at the end of the day, Heal Spokane can't be about me. It's a community thing, and I love getting out there and getting in front of people and telling my story and hopefully inspiring people to get out and help.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. So you've talked about the service to the community. What is it that makes community service so important to you?
Well, on a personal level, it was just transformative for me. But I also think that, Spokane is an amazing city. I've lived here my whole life, and I've seen it grow and develop, and the kindness of the people around the city is amazing. And I think if you can get out and just fix one thing, and if everyone just did one little bit, the city would just flourish more and more. And I think that's why it's important to me. Is it's easy. You can do one little thing, and it just changes your life.
What's the community response been?
It's been amazing. It's been a little overwhelming. I mean, people have been so supportive of my own personal journey through this, but also just rallying around this movement, getting involved. I get messages every day from people wanting to know how they can get involved in serving their community. When we do things with different organizations like Second Harvest, people are always getting involved and coming down and donating food, and it's just wonderful.
All right. With all that work, with all the things that you're involved in, what's been sort of the toughest part about Heal Spokane? I mean, every organization growing, experiences some growing pains.
Yeah.
I mean, has there been any times where you've had to overcome a challenge? Has there been a tough point with Heal Spokane
I think
and its growth?
I'm constantly learning. I never intended to found a nonprofit, so I'm learning how to do this. This was initially going to be kind of a private, personal healing thing, doing service for people, not telling people about it, but the news got a hold of it, and we grew and grew, and people wanted to get involved, so I had to found the organization. So just learning how to negotiate that, learning how to being more of a public person now, people coming up and saying hi and telling me their stories, and I love it, and it's just a little bit overwhelming sometimes, but it's wonderful, and I know it's because we're doing good things.
Yeah, okay, all right. With being in law school and running a nonprofit, how do you find the time to pull that off?
It definitely is a learning curve. I think I really believe though you can make time for anything in your life if you plan it out. So learning how to be more organized. I have a wonderful team. The people on my board of directors are so helpful with helping me schedule things and making sure that I'm not running myself too ragged. But yeah, I think just being good about scheduling and being good about taking that time for self-care. Taking a day off. Relaxing, reading all those cases.
So if there's a young person out there in the community, actually any age, if someone in the community that wants to get involved with this type of process, with they decide they want to start a nonprofit, can you explain kind of what was the process in doing that? Where did you go and learn how to create a 501c3? I assume you had to do those through the Secretary of State. You had to file all that paperwork. How did you know you wanted to take it the nonprofit route, the 501c3?
Well,
route?
after people really wanted to get involved and they wanted to donate money, and I think it's important when people want to invest in what you're doing. It is important to be transparent, and it is important to build their trust and earn their trust. And so I thought, the only way to do that is with a real organization that would just give everybody kind of that peace of mind, right? So the legal clinic, the free legal clinic at my school at the university, they helped me set it all up. Steve Faust in the business law clinic and some other students that are just amazing helped me do all the paperwork, helped me get filed with the state and with the federal government, and just it was the best help I could have possibly get.
All right. It was great. So do you have a board of directors?
I do. We just added 2 more people now. So we have a board of 11, and it's mostly students that I know, but some other people from the community, people that I know and that I trust, and that see different parts of the city that I don't always see. And therefore, I hope kind of alleviate some blind spots, so we can serve all types of communities.
Okay. All right. So you said many of the members on your board are students. Are they students that you've met in the speaking engagements when you've been going school to school?
They're mostly law students.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
it's
So
really
they're
cool,
folks
man.
that you attend classes with.
Yes, and it's been amazing the support that people at my school, that my teachers, some of the deans, the whole Gonzaga community has been so supportive of this.
That's fantastic.
It's been amazing, man.
All right. As far as law goes, I mean, are they in the same? Is sort of their trajectory on what they hope the same as yours on that criminal defense? Is that where they are? Or do you have a spread of sort of concentration or specialty?
I'm
in
the
law?
few, the proud. I think
okay.
I'm one of the only ones that I know that wants to do criminal. They're into IP and copyright contracts, which is awesome, and I'm glad that I don't have to do that. So
okay, all right. that core group that you have there, are they primarily folks that are from Spokane, or you say that you go to school with them at Gonzaga? Are they originally from Spokane, or are these folks that they've come to Spokane and just embraced the community and decided to help it sort of as an outsider or temporary?
Yeah, I think a number of them are from Spokane, but a couple of them, one of them lives in Seattle right now. He went to Whitworth with me, and then another girl on my board, she's from Medford, Oregon. So we have kind of some transplants, but also people that have grown up here in Spokane. And what I love is, regardless of them being a transplant or being from here, they feel like I do, which is Spokane's one of the best cities in the world. And I think it's only getting better. And I think it's great that we get to be a part of that.
That's fantastic. What's been the most rewarding part of Heal Spokane?
The most rewarding part, there's been a lot of amazing, wonderful things that have come from this. One of the best things, though, is when I get a message from a parent who said, their kid was having a hard time, was not doing well, was not doing great in school, didn't feel like they had much to offer. And after one of the talks that I gave at their school, they started helping people. They started helping their neighbor. They started helping family members. And the mother emailed me, I think it was probably 2 or 3 weeks after I spoke at school, just thanking me and saying she saw a total turnaround in their kid. Wow. And I think that's why I do this, right? It's great to be recognized, and it's great to get attention. That's awesome. It's wonderful. It's a great byproduct. But the fact is, we're changing lives. We're helping people get out there. We're helping people serve the community and find the benefit and the great things that come from serving others.
That's incredible. Yeah, and it's got to be a great feeling. There's a lot of organizations out there that strive to do great things, but when you see those kind of results and you hear those things from parents that are seeing it in their own children, so you are making their lives better within their families, and the way that they're seeing that betterness is by them going out and helping other folks, making their lives better. That's just got to be an incredible feeling to know that that's something you started, and you're seeing those results in such a relatively short time frame.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the 1-year anniversary. That's got to be an incredible feeling, and I personally want to say thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks,
you make Spokane a better place.
I appreciate
you
that.
Truly do. That's just incredible.
That means a lot, man. Thank you.
And I would say that is probably why you received some very, very big news yesterday. And actually, that's really cool that it happened on the 1-year anniversary.
Right? It's
you're
amazing.
being recognized. Well, actually, why don't you tell our audience the notoriety of the I don't know if we call it an award or just very important recognition you received.
It was wonderful, very kind. Catalyst, they have their 20 people under 40 for Spokane Quarterly and Living magazine, and I was recognized as one of those people, so I'll be going to the awards banquet here in November, but it's just an absolute honor. It was very unexpected, and I'm just so thankful, and I think that shows that we're doing good things. But at the end of the day, like I said, Josh, it can't be about me. I'm one person. For Heal Spokane to do what it's supposed to do its mission, to serve this community, it has to be about people coming together, uniting under this idea that service is important and getting out there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
one of the things, and I see it on your Facebook page, and I see it here today. Can you give us a little background on the logo, on the T-shirt? Because I see these T-shirts around town. I see them on Facebook.
I'm gonna have to get you one, man.
So I'd love one.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So again, I never thought this was going to be a thing people were going to know about. So just because my own kind of way to get going on this thing, I just made a little logo for this, and I thought I would call it Heal Spokane because I was healing myself, kind of through some stuff, hard things, and. After it took off, the logo I think caught on. I think the big fro is helpful, and so we got that fro, we got the clock tower, we got the city and a heart, and I think it just kind of represents a lot of things that I care about in one area.
That's great. I'm sure there are going to be some folks that are viewing this that may have never heard about Heal Spokane. So how can they learn more about it, and really how can they get involved if they really wanted to get a hold of you and say, Sather, I want to bring that idea, that concept of Heal Spokane to my neighborhood of Spokane.
Yeah.
How do they go about doing that?
Well, I think probably the best way is we have a website, www.healspokane.com. And from there, you can see what we're doing, what events we have planned, what events we've just recently completed. And there's great contact ways to get a hold of me and people on my board and my team. So that would be one way to get involved with our organization. Also, we're on Instagram and all the other social platforms, Facebook as well. But my advice, I think, if anyone wants to get out there and help people, get out there and start something. Find something that you think is a problem, that everyone complains about, right? And then get out there and try to fix it. Just one little thing. And I think once you get that momentum, once you get going, you'll see how easy it is and how fulfilling it is to go out and help.
All right. We have and I'm sure you have seen this too, the folks that are working with you, the folks that have volunteered their time to work with you, we have so many incredible people in our community that are dedicated to service, that want to help. What would your advice be for somebody that really decides, I want to make a difference in my community, or actually maybe a better way to think about it, if you could go back and tell the Sather of 1 year ago, advice and moving forward and creating, this nonprofit or this service organization, this is what you need to do, or here's the words of wisdom from Sather. What would that be?
Words of wisdom. That's I don't know about that, but I think if I could go back and tell myself a year ago. It's not easy. At the end of the day, it's a lot of work. I think I've done I stopped counting at 700 hours of community service, because I think if you start counting after that, it's kind of ridiculous, right? But it's hard work. Being in school, it's tough, but it's so worth it. And there have been some times where it's been really hard, and I've had papers due, and I've had a lot going on, and it's like the last thing I wanted to do was go out and rake someone's yard or help somebody. But every time I do it, it feels great, and I feel rewarded, and I feel like I've done something good. And so I'd probably tell myself that, there will be hard days, but just push through, because it just is the feeling inside when you're making a difference.
Okay.
It's just so wonderful.
Is there an individual, a historical figure, someone that you look to for inspiration?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll give you two. So on a historical level, Winston Churchill has always been one of those figures to me that I just think is fascinating. And I've taken a lot from some of his speeches, the never give ins, the keep goings, and those ideas that against all odds, no matter how hard it is, you just keep going. On a more local level, Kevin Parker, good friend of mine, good friend of yours, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Kevin, I call it the Kevin Parker playbook, right?
Oh, okay.
Being available to help people in the city when they need it. And Kevin's been, I don't think I've ever told him this, but he's been an example to me about he's always there to serve. And no matter what he's doing, be it his business, his personal life, he's serving our community. And I think that's amazing. And so I want to be that.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah. So of all the individuals you've helped with, all the projects you've worked on, is there one that sticks out in your mind as being the biggest? Like sort of this is the day, this is the instance where Heal Spokane went above and beyond, and this is our flagship thing we've done to date.
Wow. Well, I think one of the most memorable for me personally was when I got to go back to my old high school, Meade High School, and speak to a school assembly at Martin Luther King Day. And there's 2,000 students there, and my old teachers, and it was really cool. It kind of felt like coming home, and that I had the opportunity to share with them a message that has been so powerful in my life.
Okay.
I think the students at Meade have always been students that want to give back and that want to help. Meade is always at the forefront of that. And so it felt just perfect going in there and sharing my experience and saying, this is how I've done this, go out and do this. And I got so many messages from students the week after. I was there, hey, we're doing this, thanks for that. And it was just awesome. So it felt like a real homecoming. It felt like I kind of came full circle, and that was a really big launch off point. And from that, I started speaking at a bunch of schools.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the other colleges? You said you've spoke everything from grade school to colleges. What were some of the colleges and universities?
So I spoke in a couple different classes at Whitworth University, also with their Dornsiff Center for Community Engagement. I spoke at an event there. I spoke to my law school's board of advisors, which was scary, but awesome. It was so great. They were so supportive, and it was wonderful. And then I've gone to some high schools. I went even out to Newport, to one of the high schools out there, and just all these different schools and seeing just all these different people of different ages so committed and wanting to get involved. It's been pretty amazing.
So you mentioned Newport.
Yeah.
That's Pend Oreille County.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this expand outside of Spokane? Are you seeing it maybe getting outside the borders of Spokane County?
Yeah, it's been really cool, man. And I think it's an idea that's international. I mean, I was in Italy recently and did some service projects over there while I was there. Oh yeah, and had some friends that now have Heal Spokane shirts they rock in Italy and some in France as well. And even out, in Newport and areas like that, it's a message that is pretty simple. That is like, you have the power to make a difference, and it's as easy as picking up a piece of trash or opening a door for somebody. And so we've seen it kind of grow all over. There's people from Cyprus that got a hold of me recently that said they are kind of interested in starting something like that in their communities. So it's pretty amazing how this has caught on.
What were some of the service projects when you were over? You said Italy and did you say France?
In France, yeah. So mostly I was kind of individual stuff like picking up trash, cleaning up areas. I worked with some of the students over there at the Gonzaga Law School does a program over there, so I was there studying, but it was amazing. But with some of the University of Florence people, picking up trash and just being being a part of that community, and it was just amazing. They were so welcoming and so wonderful, and I'm glad they're rocking those shirts over there.
Fantastic. So you were over there through Gonzaga?
Yes.
So through the law school.
Yeah, it's an amazing program.
Okay, and
Amazing.
anything over there? I mean, folks always say when they travel the world, they see different communities, different countries. Did you pick up anything there? Any ideas on anything you want to that you're thinking of incorporating into Heal Spokane that maybe you picked up over there?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a really good question. I think one of the things is just like the communal atmosphere that people have when you first meet them. So we were lucky enough to be welcomed by these students, and this is the second year I got to go. I was finagled my way into another year of going, and it was amazing. And so I already knew some of these students, but they took me into their homes, they took me out to dinner, and from the moment I got there, I was like a part of the community. And I think that's important. I think we're too isolated these days, and I think even in this city, we don't know our neighbors the way we used to. And like through this, now I know all of my neighbors. I know their kids. We have lightsaber battles and stuff every once in a while. It's big. It brings people together. And I think that's what I took away from Italy and some of the other European countries is there's a little bit more of a community feel, and I think we can do that. I think it's a good thing.
Fantastic. And so do you feel Heal Spokane is doing, so in your neighborhood specifically, I mean, has this given you an avenue to get to know your neighbors better?
Oh, definitely. I didn't know really any of my neighbors when I first moved into where I'm at about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And through this, I know their families, that we exchange Christmas gifts now, just getting out there and seeing if I can be of service to somebody. And it's a wonderful little area, and I've met people, blocks away now, and people will wave to me when I'm running in the morning and stuff. It's great.
So with your board of directors, I mean, do you have a sort of, I don't know if it's a requirement or just sort of an expectation? I mean, that you mentioned you stopped counting at 700 hours of community service. Do your other board members put in similar amounts of work as well?
Yeah, I think, I got a little bit of a head start before we officially started the nonprofit. So and to me, it's not about comparing numbers, but I do want them to get involved and want them to help. And so they're at different events that I'm at. They come to the speaking gigs or they help us. We did a big build over at Second Harvest Food Bank. I had some people there. So they're always getting involved. And then what's great is when they go home, if they're not from Spokane, when they go home for the holidays, and I see them doing things there, and wearing their Heal Spokane shirts and just kind of spreading that message.
Okay. So what's the future hold for Heal Spokane? Where do you want to see Heal Spokane go in, let's say, the next 5 years?
All right. Well, hopefully I'll be done with law school and pass the bar and be a practicing attorney. So that's the big hope.
Well, we know that's going to happen.
We know it's going to happen.
We know that's happening. So.
But I think I love Spokane and I want to be here. So I plan to work in Spokane and I can plan to continue this. And I'm hoping that, for the next year or so, I can kind of fade back and I don't have to have my face out on everything and be at every single event, because, again, it can't be about me. It needs to go on beyond me. And so my big hope is getting more people involved in the community and delegating a little bit more and having this kind of go out on its own and just continue to do good things. But I plan to keep going.
That's fantastic. So as we reach sort of the end of our show here, final few minutes, any final thoughts you want to leave our viewers with?
First, just thank you for having me. I really appreciate you doing this and letting us, kind of spread our message to more people in the community. And I would just say, for people, it's sometimes daunting to wonder how you can start and how to get involved, but just go do it. Just go outside and pick up a piece of trash, and I promise you that things will be better.
All right, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful message. I mean, it's those little things that just snowball into something big.
It's true.
And this one, I mean, like you said, it started with carrying some groceries, and look what it has snowballed into.
It's been amazing.
Heal
it's an amazing
Spokane.
Journey.
That's fantastic. So, all right, well, folks, I'm afraid that we're out of time. I'd like to thank our guest, Sather Gowder from Heal Spokane, for being our guest today. As a reminder, a video of today's Spotlight can be accessed on the Spokane County homepage, but also on the Spokane County YouTube channel. I'd also like to remind our audience that Spokane County has a new mobile app, the Spokane County On the Go. This app can be downloaded on Apple and Android devices, but for step-by-step information on how to do that, you can go to SpokaneCounty.org. I'm County Commissioner Josh Kerns, and thank you for joining us today for another Spokane County Spotlight.